Hey cats, Eddbud here. A question I'm asked very often in the comments: which is the best race shoe out there right now? If you've only got enough cash to perhaps buy one pair, which is the one you should get? I've been lucky enough to test out a whole bunch of different super race shoes over the past year or so. In today's video, we got the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2, the METASPEED Edge and Sky Paris from ASICS, the ADIOS Pro 4 from ADIDAS, the ALPHAFLY 3 from Nike, and the Puma DEVIATE NITRO Elite 3. But right now, in my opinion, which is the absolute best you can get? Let's find out. There's a ton of race options out there right now, and if you're watching this video, you probably want to know which is the best. Always remember that opinions are a little bit subjective, right? Every runner's different, everybody's got a slightly different running style. So I'm going to attack this one very much from a personal experience kind of perspective. There's not really like a right or wrong, those is just to kind of inform you, I suppose. Here's my current rundown on the 2025 options that we've got available. Off the bat, I'm going to score each of the shoes in the video today in each category, like out of 5. So we're going to look at the upper fit, lockdown and comfort, midsole protection, the softness, the propulsion, outsole grip, traction and durability, and lastly the value for money overall. A few stats for you on screen right now. Shoes I'm looking at today are the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2, the ADIOS Pro 4 from Adidas, the ALPHAFLY 3 from Nike, the METASPEED Sky Paris and the METASPEED Edge Paris from ASICS, and the Puma DEVIATE NITRO Elite 3. Starting off with the upper first. Find the Puma DEVIATE NITRO Elite 3 and the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2 a little bit pernickety in terms of getting the lockdown right over the top of the foot. I did sub the laces out of this shoe. I'm going to do the same on this one as well to try and achieve a slightly better lock around the top of the foot. The lace is just too flexible for me in both of these shoes. Laces from the Liberate Nitro 2s I think into here, and that worked a lot better. But these are both mega light, I think around about 8.1 ounces if I remember correctly in my UK 11. Puma perhaps a better fit over the Saucony but only by a hair. The ADIOS Pro 4 and the METASPEED Edge Paris offering a really great lockdown over the top of the foot. The lace is perhaps not perfect in the Adidas shoe, but I do love the serrated ones that we've got in the ASICS models. Both of the Sky Paris and the Edge Paris have quite a baggy toe box, it has to be said. Perhaps if you've got slightly more voluminous toes, that might work for you. But because the lockdown's so good, you can kind of cinch them up and really perfect it. But it is a real banger upper-wise. This one exceptionally breathable too. Though in terms of upper, I think the winner for me, in terms of comfort certainly, and ease of lockdown really, is the ALPHAFLY 3. Not too generous and just fits me like a glove. If you want to wear it for a race, you don't want to be sort of fooling around or anything trying to get the pressure just right. It's easy to achieve in the ALPHAFLY 3. So we're going 2 points for the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2, 3 points for the Puma, 4 points each for the ADIOS Pro 4 and the METASPEED Sky or Edge Paris, and max points for the ALPHAFLY 3. Midsole now. Straight off the bat, if you want softness, then you're going to want to go for this shoe, the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2. It is ridiculously soft to the point that it might be a little bit too soft for some. Mega forgiving, though I would suggest for me that isn't the best overall. The Sky and Edge Paris midsole formula here, that Flight Foam Turbo Plus, is exceptional. There's real bounce to it and real return. I think easily the best performer of the lot over 5k to a half marathon. I have to admit though, the very narrow nature of these shoes perhaps would steer me away from using these within the marathon. I know that ASICS are launching that S4. It's finally coming to America at least. Hopefully it will come over to the UK as well, and that's got a slightly wider base to it and using some of that Flight Foam Turbo Plus as well. So might be absolutely fine for me, but for you guys you might want a little bit more surface area back here. And that brings me to the ADIOS Pro 4. In terms of the midsole, I think there's a lot more surface area here. Doesn't feel quite as narrow, especially in the forefoot. Good balance between softness here and sort of return, so it's not sort of bottoming out. I think the ALPHAFLY 3, certainly for me, is tuned for that sort of half marathon or marathon pace running. Despite what some people might say, I have used it at a 5k and I found it was a little bit too much shoe, perhaps a a little bit too much significant heel width there. Although in fairness, it's not actually that much heavier than some of the other options in today's video, so kind of balances out really. I think if we're talking versatility though, the ADIOS Pro 4 really does come out on top here. Slightly easier to stomach price tag too. Again, the Puma DEVIATE NITRO Elite 3, better from 5k through to half marathon. Again, it's that heel width thing. I just don't feel there's perhaps enough there for me when it gets towards the end of that marathon race. It's going to suit you more if you're a mid to forefoot runner, this one. Though the midsole foam is exceptionally reliable, it's resilient and durable. So I'm going to give 3 points to the Endorphin Elite 2, 4 to the ALPHAFLY 3, the Puma, and also the METASPEED Sky and Edge Paris, and then 5 points max for the ADIOS Pro 4 for midsole. So at this stage, let's see what the scores are. 5 points for the Endorphin Elite 2, we've got 7 points for the DEVIATE NITRO Elite 3, 8 points for the METASPEED Sky and Edge Paris, 9 points for the ALPHAFLY 3, and 9 for the ADIOS Pro 4. Outsole wise, I'm really surprised at how durable the Endorphin Elite 2 has been so far. With that super soft foam, I thought that the outsole might sort of be limited a little bit, I suppose, in terms of durability, but it's really great, quite sticky, quite coarse too. Saucony have really nailed it. When you think that these are exclusively designed for sort of road and concrete use, I'm going to grade all the shoes really in terms of outsole from that perspective. I don't think anyone's going to really use these super shoes on a trail or anything, or just mash them up. Now, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong with the outsole of the ALPHAFLY 3. I've been quite careful with mine, used a little bit of shoe glue here and there, and that has meant that I got these through to about 100 miles and there's very little foam degradation at all. It's a tiny little bit of paint peeling here at the back, but it's absolutely fine. Grip wise, I really like these. As long as you land in sort of mid to forefoot, you get some really good toe off there. The rubber's perhaps not as durable as some of the other models and makes out there, but for me, it's been absolutely fine. I do like the fact they've improved the rubber heel coverage a little bit in the ALPHAFLY 3. I think that does help to make it slightly easier to stomach in terms of the price, whereas pairs in the past just fell to bits pretty quick. I think the ADIOS Pro 4 here and the DEVIATE NITRO Elite 3 are winners though when it comes to the outsole. Almost no wear in these or my Puma shoes as well. After 100 miles, that's pretty hard to beat. From a durability perspective on the outsole, this polyurethane stuff really does seem to work, and it's very difficult to mark those models down from the outsole perspective. So I'm going to give 5 points here to the Puma and ADIDAS models, 4 for the METASPEED Sky and Edge Paris, 3 each for the ALPHAFLY 3 and the Endorphin Elite 2. Outsole wise, I think most of the models are pretty good actually in this video today. Last up is value. I think really the ADIOS Pro 4 does stand out from the others in terms of value. At 220 quid here in the UK, one of the best shoes out there, nice soft midsole and probably one of the most versatile of the bunch. I think the Puma's going to work for some people in terms of value. You're going to get a lot of miles out of it certainly, and that outsole is very durable, but that narrow nature is going to put people off from grabbing this one, especially with that very extreme lateral taper in the toe box. You don't want to be worrying about that in a marathon, do you? Banger at 5k sort of pace for me, but when it comes to the marathon, I want a little bit more width. The ALPHAFLY 3 might be a very expensive purchase, but it's a real smooth operator for me around that half to full marathon pace, and it's a very addictive model to use. I found I've got a lot of miles out of these shoes. I just enjoy running in them, and that's kind of what it's all about really. So does that make it a little bit easier to stomach in terms of the retail price? Well, you'll have to decide that. Easily for me, the METASPEED series is the most exciting out the box, just exhilarating shoes to run in, genuinely sort of next level in terms of the bounce and the fun. Though perhaps you're lacking the long-term usability of the ALPHAFLY 3, the foam here does start to deteriorate and get torn up very quickly. Endorphin Elite 2, so far the softest shoe I've ever tried on the channel, and that does tie it down to that half marathon or marathon use case for me. So for this video at least, I think in terms of the retail price of $280, it isn't going to get the highest score for this model for value. Simply the others are just a little bit more versatile. So I'm going to give 3 points to the Endorphin Elite 2 and the Puma models, 4 points for the ALPHAFLY 3, and then 5 points each for the METASPEED Sky and Edge Paris. and the ADIOS Pro 4 from ADIDAS. Those two are very usable options, I feel. They're coming in a little bit cheaper than some of the other super shoes in this category, certainly in today's video. So final scores there, we got the Saucony ENDORPHIN Elite 2 with 11 points, the DEVIATE NITRO Elite 3 with 15, we have the ALPHAFLY 3 with 16 points, the METASPEED Sky and Edge Paris with 17, and the ADIOS Pro 4 is the winner, 19 points. It's kind of hard to fault this one, really. A real banger. Adidas have pretty much nailed it. Just amazed at how durable this shoe's been as well. Hasn't quite got the pop it did have. Am I any clearer as to what I'm going to use for the marathon in Manchester? No, not really. Let me know what you think I should use down in the comments. Remember that these are very much my opinions and based on my experiences in using the shoes. They have up to 100 miles in almost all of them, bar the ENDORPHIN Elite 2. That one is proving to be very durable so far, and I didn't think it would be. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Quick musical interlude for you. I've been listening to the 4th of Scott Walker's solo albums, Scott 4. Really loved the intro track there, The Seventh Seal. Such atmosphere there, wonderful production and instrumentation. Sounds like something out of a spaghetti western film or something. Clearly was inspiration to the Last Shadow Puppets' first album, which was back in like the noughties sometime. And then you've got Boy Child later on in the album, which sounds like it could have been in like a samurai game or something. Incredible reverb and like huge string crescendos and builds there. Very atmospheric album, this one. And I really love the swagger in the track. The old man's back again. Real swing to the rhythms there. Very enjoyable, this one. Can't believe it was released like in 1969. It still sounds fantastic today. Go and check it out. Scott 4 from Scott Walker. Thanks for tuning in, people. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Pick up some merch and help the channel out on a more ad hoc basis. Links are down below. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. My name's Eddbud and I'll be seeing you